Golf is a funny game that many golfers find not funny at all because it makes them angry and frustrated and all frowny. Pat Hurst has never been one of those golfers. During her competitive prime, she played the game with a natural joy and confidence that carried her from tee to green. She is the only American woman to have won a Triple Crown of the U.S. Amateur Championship, a NCAA Individual Championship, and a major LPGA Championship. And while accomplishing all that, Hurst's game always seemed to flow organically. Perhaps that's because she learned the game organically while growing up in San Leandro. Her stepfather, Frank Bunt, let her drive his golf cart at Lake Chabot. But soon, Pat grabbed some clubs. And soon after that, she began challenging Frank and his pals to friendly wagers.
Her stepdad would take her out there, and he was a good golfer. He was very good. And so she would play with his buddies, and they'd bet, and she'd just bet right along with them.
She became really good really quick because she was playing up to their level. She did like to wager, and I think that was a big part of what formed her competitiveness on the golf course.
Sensing Pat's love of the sport, Frank and Pat's mother, Kyoko, signed her up with lessons from legendary teaching pro Gloria Armstrong. She grooved Pat's teenage swing into a dominant tool. In 1986, at age 17, Hurst won the U.S. Girls Junior Championship and attracted the attention of college coaches, including one from San Jose State.
I didn't really care what her swing looked like. If she could get the ball in the hole, that's the player I want on my team.
Hurst's time at San Jose State fell squarely in a golden era for the school's golf program, which had already produced such stars as Patty Sheehan and Julie Inkster. The Spartans had won the 1987 NCAA title, and in 1989, with Hurst in the team's #1 position, they hit the Stanford golf course fairways aiming for another. It came down to the last putt for both Hurst and the Spartans.
Coming down to the final hole, she and I thought we were behind. So I said, go for it, which was a par 5 at Stanford, 18 at the time. And she went for it, the green and 2, and there's a lot of trouble if you don't hit it. She was just off the right-hand side and chipped up and made a 4-footer. She won the title as an individual, and then we won our second national championship.
A year later, in 1990, Hurst plowed through the match play field at the United States Women's Amateur to win the championship match. During her years as a Spartan, there was no more accomplished female golfer in the college game.
She was a competitor, and she wanted to win. And she didn't worry about the little things.
By 1991, Hurst knew that the professional game was her next step. She moved to the Palm Springs area and worked as a teaching pro while trying to qualify for the LPGA Tour. On her third attempt, she succeeded and never looked back. She had 8 top 20 finishes and was named Rookie of the Year. In 1997, she won her first LPGA event at the Oldsmobile Classic in Michigan, with husband Jeff Height serving as her caddy. In 1998, Hurst joined the ranks of major championship winners with a victory at the Nabisco Dinah Shore tournament in Rancho Mirage.
Rossi, you've got to like her pace of play.
Yeah, she gets up there and hits it. She doesn't fool around, and I think that's great.
Come on.
She played the 18th hole like it was nothing. She sunk about a 5-footer to win. She's fearless, and she goes for everything. No layup in Pat Hurst.
Dinah Shore champions traditionally jump into the 18th hole pond to celebrate their victory.
That's her tradition, so here goes Pat. I hope she can swim.
She can't swim. Yeah, you don't want her rescuing you.
She put the robe on and went in literally ankle deep. That was about it, and she gets a lot of grief for that.
Hurst concluded her 1998 season by joining with USA teammates to beat Europe and win the Solheim Cup. She and Jeff followed that up in 1999 with an even bigger event, the birth of their son, Jackson Jeffrey. A second child followed in 2002, daughter Riley Ann. The challenges of being a mom on tour were not unusual in her profession.
You're lugging everything around the country, you know, car seats, porta cribs, bottles, diapers. It was hard, but I wouldn't change it, and I don't think she'd change it for anything either.
Hurst nearly won the 2006 U.S. Women's Open after tying for first with Annika Sorenstam, who then beat her in an 18-hole playoff. Hurst also went on to win 3 more LPGA events and play on 3 more winning Solheim Cup teams.
The match was a little bit more personal to her because it was one-on-one, and she revels in that.
And I think her growing up playing against the guys, always trying to have to be better, never giving up, grinding, I think that bodes well in match play.
She left the tour after 2015 with more than $7 million in career earnings. Through it all, her personality was buoyant but fiercely spirited.
Pat Hurst has a driver on the 18th tee.
Oh, it's a gambling move.
It's good if it turns out right.
Oh, she nailed it. That was perfection, Dottie.
Hurst will next bring her competitive attitude to her new job as an assistant coach at her alma mater. This brings her full circle back to the campus and the city where she launched her championship life.
She actually went to San Jose State on the Julie Inkster Scholarship. And I still kid her, and she tells me that I'm still on the Julie Inkster Scholarship. So she makes me buy dinner all the time.
Okay, Coach, tell me, who was number 1, Julie or me? And I said, Tracy Hansen.
Pat Hurst becomes just the 5th golfer to enter the San Jose Sports Hall of Fame and face the pressure of making an induction speech. But hearkening back to her days as a girl playing golf with the guys at Lake Chabot, it would be a big mistake to bet against her.